Hello students, now we will start our defense of February month, right? After this defense, we will have the March 1 defense, right? So we'll have one session of defense. In fact, we have already done a lot of defense in our previous sessions. So let us start. So I'll start with the previous one. We in the last discussion we have discussed about infantry weapon systems of India, right? So we've discussed about three types of infantry weapons. Specifically we discussed three ones: AK-103, 6 auger 716, and carbines. I told you most important part of this is from where they have been procured, right? And if the tough question will be asked, they'll ask you where it will be employed. For example, this AK-103 will replace Insas rifle by Indian army, right? This 6 auger will be used in the counterinsurgency, if they ask a tough question. Now today we'll discuss about the artillery weapon system of India. So these are the artilleries, right? The in Hindi word is called tops. So we'll discuss about artillery weapon system, some very specific detail in the current affairs which are there. So basically artillery are of the classified depending upon the method of the ground transportation, how it is getting transported. So one way it is self-propelled, just like a car, so self-propelled, right? And secondly there is like towed, so there is no propulsion system, it is towed by another vehicle. So there is another vehicle and it will tow the your artillery system. Okay, so this is a second type of system. Now however, you can see from right from there, so self-propelled system is better, obviously it does not need towing. However, we still go for the towed artillery. Why is it so? So it is just because of the cost and the these parameters. So cost of developing, cost of maintenance, cost of long term availability of part, cost of training. So these are the factor, that is why this towed also is popular along with the self-propelled. Getting my point? So both of them are there. For example, we start with Dhanush. So Dhanush is, it is called as a Desi Bofors. Now Bofors you must all be knowing, right? Bofors scam, and it was in the news. Bofors was used in a very high capacity in the Kargil war, right? It was used very extensively in the Kargil war, right? So now we have developed Desi Bofors, means indigenously produced long range artillery gun, right? Two varieties, towed also and self propelled also. Maximum firing range you need to remember around 38 kilometer. Okay, so army to get the first batch of the Dhanush artillery guns. It is being developed by the our own indigenous capacity. Similar to Dhanush, there is Sarang. So you need to remember the name. So question can come: Sarang, Dhanush. They are what? Dhanush is also a ballistic missile, if you remember, right? So this is also an indigenous artillery gun produced by the Ordnance Factory Board. Okay, so they have handed over some Sarang, and they have upgraded Sarang from 130 mm to 155 mm. So it becomes similar to this one. Become upgraded version becomes similar to the Dhanush artillery gun. Okay, right. So this is, as you can see, the weapon has great export potential, and the upgraded Sarang use the same ammunition as the Dhanush and feature the same barrel. Right now we are developing our own indigenous capacity to be able to export. We'll read today Lucknow Declaration also. So we are now also ready to first of all improve our defense manufacturing, then also be ready to the export of these equipments. Okay, next is these two we have already discussed those. These are in the June month current affair. We have already discussed M777 ultra light howitzer. So we have taken it from USA. It was the first artillery machine, that artillery guns that we have procured after the Bofors. Okay, so after Bofors they were the first one. So after 3 decades, artillery modernization is on track with M777. Okay, so it's basically a towed artillery gun. You can see towed artillery gun. Okay, right. So you can see mounted on a truck. Right. Next is K9 Vajra T self-propelled artillery gun. So it is a self-propelled artillery gun. We have procured it from South Korea. So these are the 4 artillery gun that you have to remember. Remember, starting from Dhanush, then Sarang, then M777, then K9 Vajra. So we have discussed in detail about K9 Vajra, all the details here, right? Now it will be produced. First of all, we are importing some from South Korea. Now we will be making it under Make in India project. Okay, under L&T company will be producing it. Not very important, however, it will be doing it. So remember 4 artillery guns. So we are why I'm giving you the revision PPTs also, because So as to give you a structure, right? So we have done infantry weapon, that is I've kept the infantry, right? And we have done these artillery guns also, so that all things are at a one place despite being covered across the month. Next is Pranash missile. So Pranash missile is a upgrade over the Prahar missile. So Prahar missile we have read, if you remember, we have covered ballistic missiles in detail. If you still want to read, if you have not read it, so go to the September month and the defense. There I have covered the ballistic missiles and the cruise missiles in detail, all the classification, what is the difference, a complete chart I have taken. So the Pranash missile will be, we are developing this Pranash missile as a tactical missile in a ballistic missile field, right? So it will be a surface to surface ballistic missile and used for the, if it is a tactical, to destroy enemy targets at a short range, because it is tactical in nature. Okay, so it will be propelled by a single stage solid propellant engine. So this is, India is developing 20-kilometer strike range Pranash missile. Now this is the chart I was talking about, that chart I have explained in the September month, right? So here it is, in the short range, surface to surface short range, Prahar missile is there, and the upgrade over the Prahar missile is your Pranash missile. So if you have made this chart, just upgrade this chart to Pranash. Okay, so Prahar, it is 150 kilometers and Pranash is of the range of the 200 kilometers. Okay, you need to remember this particular chart only and add from this chart. Now you can see how it becomes really easy. If you have this chart ready, if you come across a new ballistic missile, you just add on to it. Okay, next is 6th offshore patrol vessel, yard 406 Vajra. So this is INS Vajra. So this is the 6th offshore patrol vessel. So this is Vikram series. Okay, and this is 6th one, to be decided the 7th one. So if the question comes Vikram, Vijaya, Veera, Varaha, Vajad, what are these? So these are nothing but offshore patrol vessel. What does patrol vessel means? Patrolling, just like merit for tackling the maritime piracy, for ensuring the maritime security, all these things. Okay, it will be used by the coast guards. So it is being inducted. Okay, launch ceremony is taken in the February month. So if the question comes on these lines, only this question comes, yard 4006 Vajra. So what is this? This is a offshore patrol vessel. Okay, right. So it is built by the L&T Shipbuilding under the Make in India policy. So the vessel will be utilized for day and night surveillance along with anti-terrorist, anti-smuggling operation in the EEZ. In the EEZ region, they will do all these things. So protecting the EEZ is one of the mandates of the coastal guards. Okay, right. So remember, this is a Vikram series. I told you how the series are named from the first one. So it is, that is why it is known as the Vikram series also. Okay. Next is RAD 2, RA. I don't know how they pronounce it. The Pakistan RAD 2. It is a missile, nuclear capable cruise missile of the range of 600 of Pakistan. So the question, if the question will come, the question will come like this: RAD missile in the news. It is of which country? Like this, or what it is. So it's a cruise missile of Pakistan, and it has a capability to hit Delhi from the deep inside Pakistan. Okay. So relatively cause of worry and the problem of the nuclearization of the South Asia, and that is Indian subcontinent, and that is one of the big flashpoints of the world also, right? So RAD 2, remember, of Pakistan, especially Pakistan China missiles. If anyone, especially the long range that have capability to hit India, that becomes important for our prelims. Next is Seahawk helicopter. So Seahawk helicopter, we are thinking of having those from USA, right? So they are the maritime helicopters, right? So the Seahawks are the multi-mission maritime helicopter developed by the Lockheed Martin. They are deployed by the US Navy itself, right? Primarily submarine, anti-submarine warfare and anti-surface weapon system. Okay, so they are equipped with some missiles, air to surface missiles, and some torpedoes also. Okay, so if the question comes Seahawk air helicopters, so we are procuring it from the USA. So one thing I'll tell you, while preparing for the defense, prepare just like this. For example, This is USA and what we are taking from USA, what we are taking from Russia, what we are taking from Israel, so that it will give you a more holistic understanding of, or it will give you a structure. So that will be your end time notes that you'll revise just before, one day before exam. So when you have something like this, everything will connect, every other detail you'll keep in mind if you have revised it once. But having these sort of notes will help you, I'm telling you, right? So please prepare these sort of notes. Okay, so how the Seahawk will be used? So as we discussed, anti-submarine operation, logistic supports, naval gunfire support, surveillance, communication, and all these things. So will be a boost to our Indian Navy. Next is Malta Abhiyan. So Malta Abhiyan is basically, Malta is a river. So exercise is named after the river Malta. So Navy has conducted a coastal security exercise Malta Abhiyan. Okay, so it aims to interact with the coastal communities to spread awareness on the coastal securities. So understand the navigational complexity of the Sundarban deltaic waters. So Malta River, deep inside the West Bengal, you can see River Damodar, then River Malta here, right? So in the complexity of the Sundarbans, because this area becomes really dense and complex logistically, and also gives the one of the opportunities for the anti-social elements or anti-national elements to creep into India, or the traffic for human trafficking or disturbing the coastal security. So it is important to have the coastal communities as our eyes and ears, right? So if the coastal communities become our eyes and ears, then it becomes easy for the coastal security to improve our coastal security, right? Because the army people or the navy people will not be too much equipped to operate in these areas as compared to the people who are already living in this area for many years. Okay, so Mata River is the tidal river in 24 Pargana district in West Bengal. It's an open estuary in and around the Sundarbans. Okay, next is exercise Samudra Shakti. So exercise Samudra Shakti is conducted between India and Indonesian Navy. So India and Indonesia. Indonesia, we have discussed that Indonesia, the various places of Indonesia becomes really important, right? So a joint exercise of Samudra Shakti undertaken in the Bay of Bengal. The aim of the exercise is to strengthen the bilateral relation, expand maritime cooperation, enhance interoperability, and exchange the best practices. So more exercise, India and Indonesia take Garud Shakti, right? So annual military exercise, India Indo corporate corporate. So it's a biannual patrol exercise. So this is how also you prepare. You prepare country wise. For example, with UK we'll read Ajay Warrior, Indradhanush. With Indonesia, Garud Shakti, and this with Bangladesh. So country wise also, which is the army one, which is the navy one, which is the air force one, like that. Because exercises can come because there are so many exercises. PIB also published one list this time. Next is BIMSTEC, DEMS. So this is for the BIMSTEC, that is Bengal Initiative for the Multi-Sector Bay of Bengal Initiative for the Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. So that is BIMSTEC. So their exercise for the disaster management. So HADR exercise. So it's the second of the exercise. So remember one important thing, not all the countries have participated in it. Okay. So which countries have opted out? Thailand and Bhutan. Okay. If you remember last time, Nepal has opted out, and it caused a lot of stir also, because India has called for this type of exercises to get BIMSTEC at least on a strong footing, because as SARC is not doing really well, so BIMSTEC is seen as an alternative to the SARC. So this is BIMSTEC disaster management exercise concludes at the Puri in February. Next is Ajay Warrior 2020. So Ajay Warrior is a military exercise between India and the United Kingdom, held at the United Kingdom, right? Okay, so United Kingdom consists of, one student asked me, sir, what's the difference between United Kingdom, UK versus England, right? So United Kingdom consists of this North Ireland, Scotland, England, and the Wales. Okay, now I hope you have read in the Brexit. One of the problem in the Brexit is, so this is an Republic of Ireland, ROC, sorry, ROI. Okay, and this is a part of the United Kingdom. So when the Brexit will happen, this area will go out of the EU. However, this is a part of EU. So the border problem of this North Ireland and the Republic of Ireland is a very big issue, because it consists of a lot of violence, because a lot of a lot of integration is there on the both the sides. So if there is a if there is a hard border is placed, then it will create a lot of problem for the people from both the sides, and it can lead to the violence also. In fact, it is one of the contentious area of the Brexit also. Okay, so Brexit withdrawal agreement we have discussed in international affairs in the, I think, March month, or in the February month we have discussed the withdrawal agreement that was there, divorce bill that was there for Brexit. Okay, so this is exercise Ajay Warrior between India and the UK. Then Sampriti 9, Sampriti between India and the Bangladesh. Okay, so India Bangladesh joint military exercise concludes in Shillong. Sampriti. Then next one, India and UK joint air force exercise placed in the Hindon in the Uttar Pradesh. Right, so that name is Indradhanush. So you have to make some small, for example, Indradhanush happens in the skies. That means it's an air force exercise, right? And you have to make some small story to connect Indradhanush with the idea of UK. You can you can make a story like UK was a colonial big empire. It was a rainbow empire because it consists of all the territories of majority of the many of the continents, many countries of the continents were there. India, from Africa, many of the countries were there. So it was a rainbow colonial. So from rainbow you can connect it to the Indradhanush. However absurd it may be, at the end of the day your target is to replicate that into examination, and that is what it matters finally, right? So that is exercise Indradhanush. Next is interesting one, Indian National Defense University. So this university has been recommended by the Kargil Review Committee in 99. In fact, many of the committees that have come after it, they want a type of specific academic institutions that trains not only in the security aspect but also in, for example, technology, leadership management, distance learning, diplomacy, all these things combined so as to give our security view a more holistic perspective to our security, right? So address a deficiency in our security management plan. So it must be the prime mover of intellectual capital in the reformed Indian military. So create an intellectual capital within our military. So for these purposes, some this Indian National Defense University has been envisaged, right? So Kargil Review Committee has called for it. Then 2013, some sort of foundation stone was laid. A bill is still pending in the parliament. For example, you can see Indian Defense University Bill 2015 is passed, which is still awaiting approval from the cabinet. Not, this is not being passed, it is still there, and the parliament, it is still in the draft form. Currently it is not being passed. However, the demand is again being raised that we should have this intellectual institutions to serve as a many purpose, serve as a think tank, to contribute to the policy formation, create synergy between the academician, government official within the armed forces. So inclusion of the armed forces within this, it should not be an isolated thing. It should have an integration with different stakeholders, whether it be technology, whether it be startup. Now the government is including the startups and the private sector into the defense, and it is a high time that we cash on it, right? For example, 74% FDI is approved in the defense sector. Now that is why we also need intellectual capital in the defense sector. And while our priorities are also massive, right, we need to develop our defense manufacturing, indigenous defense manufacturing. In fact, many of the initiatives that we have seen in for the past 7 to 8 months in the defense, we have seen many of the initiatives are taken towards the indigenization of the defense manufacturing, whether it be Dhanush, Sarang, right? Many of the ballistic missiles that we have taken on our own, right? We have discussed your nuclear armed submarine also, Arihant, Arighat, that we are building on our own, right? So in that format, Indian National Defense University is also a necessity. Next is Abhyas. So what is Abhyas? From the name itself, Abhyas means practice. Abhyas means practice. So this is basically, Abhyas is what? High speed expendable aerial target. So just imagine like a target which will be hit by the missile. So for the practice of the missiles, this is being developed. Okay. So it offers a realistic threat scenario for the practice of the weapon system. So designed for autonomous flying with the help of the autopilot. So remember, if the Abhyas question comes, so obviously developed by DRDO, So Abhyas is basically a high speed expendable target, aerial target, and from the name itself you can practice. It is a practice. Abhyas means practice. So this is Abhyas. Then is Lucknow Declaration. Lucknow Declaration is a joint declaration adopted outcome of the India Africa Defense Minister Conclave held alongside with Defense Expo. So Defense Expo held alongside Indian African Defense Ministers Conclave also held, right? And they have adopted a Lucknow Declaration, right? So Lucknow Declaration calls for India Africa for greater enhanced collaboration between India and Africa. And I told you the exports of the defense equipments. So from India, we have taken earlier from many of the countries, USA, Israel. Now we want to give in a very small, not very high amount of money to the countries like Africa. In Africa, many countries now want to develop as they grow, right? Because top 10 fastest growing countries in the world are in Africa, right? The growth engine of the 21st century will be in Asia and Africa. So now Africa country will also want to develop their own defense system. So in the initial phases, they will be procuring some of the weapons. However, these countries cannot take from directly from USA. Why? Very costly. The cost is a big factor. So they will require their own specific threat scenario with respect to their own threat scenario, low cost defense equipments, and there the India can come in. Okay, China is already there, so India can also come in, and on this is the context behind the Lucknow Declaration that was being signed. Okay, so strengthening the long-standing defense partnership between India and Africa. Next is IDSA to be renamed as Manohar Parrikar Institute of Defense Studies and Analysis. So IDSA established in 1965. Okay, so it's a non-partisan autonomous body dedicated to the objective research and policy relevant studies. So if you remember IDSA, many of the articles of IDSA are recommended to study in our optional or in the foreign policy and the security scenario, right? So IDSA is basically a think tank. Okay, and it has been renamed as the Manohar Parrikar Institute of Defense. Manohar Parrikar, leader of the BJP, and earlier was the chief minister of the Goa. Before that, he was the defense minister of India, right? So it is funded by this institute is funded by the Ministry of Defense, right? So Institute of Defense Studies and Analysis renamed as the Manohar Parrikar Institute of the Defense Studies and the Analysis. Right. The last initiative we're gonna see is Cyber Dome. So Cyber Dome, from the name itself, it seems some sort of cyber security initiative is there. So Kerala police have established the specialized darknet lab. Okay, so it's a public-private partnership for cyber security, right? So conceived as a cyber center for excellence in such, as well as technology augmentation of the effective policing, right? So using the cyber to fight the cyber threats, as well as using the cyber space to solve the other improving the investigation skills also. Okay, right. So combating the emerging cyber threats. In fact, Cyber Dome has been asked in 2019 mains exam also. They've asked about the Cyber Dome initiative. In the mains exam, they've asked specifically what to understand by the Cyber Dome, right? So Cyber Dome is a Kerala police initiative, and the idea is the same, that it's a, first of all, remember, if the from objective purpose, it's a public-private partnership and initiative by the police of Kerala. Okay, so with this we finish our discussion. Let us quickly revise. So we started with our revision of our infantry weapon system. From infantry weapon system, we have discussed the artillery weapon system, Dhanush, K9, Vajra T-guns, M777 and Sarang. Then Dhanush we have discussed, called Desi Bofors. Then Sarang, upgraded version similar to the Bofors, 155 mm. It is also upgraded to 155 mm. Then M777 ultralight howitzer, first time procured after the Bofors scandal, right? Then K9 Vajra T self-propelled artillery guns. Then Pranash missile, where to put Pranash missile? Near to Prahar. So upgraded version of the Prahar is known as the Pranash missile. Okay, 200 kilometer short range tactical ballistic missile. Then we have discussed Vajra, that is offshore patrol vessel. Okay, then Rad 2 of the Pakistan, cruise missile, nuclear capable. Then Seahawk helicopter that we aim to procure from the USA. Then Malta Abhiyan Malta Abhiyan near the river Malta, named after the river Malta. Then exercise Samudra Shakti. Then BIMSTEC exercise, disaster management exercise, Samudra Shakti between India and Indonesia. Then Ajay Warrior and Indradhanush with India and UK. This one is military exercise and this one is Air Force exercise. Then Sampriti between India and Bangladesh, and this Indian National Defense University. I've discussed in detail about the need of Indian National Defense University. You can talk about these, you can write about these example when talking about the security in India. For example, you're talking about the improving the internal security scenario in India. A generic question. So you talk about this. Kargil Review Committee has recommended this. So it improves your factual knowledge or gives you objective understanding of a very subjective topic. Then Abhyas, we have discussed Lucknow Declaration between India and Africa, defense export. Then IDSA to be renamed as Manohar Parrikar Institute of Self Defense. Then Cyber Dome of Kerala Police, public private partnership. So with this, we finish our defense of February month. IR is IR will be uploaded of March month alongside this particular session, right? So February we are done of defense, then we'll complete our March month defense. This much information is more than enough what is required in your defense, right? More or less you read about defense technology in your science and tech section, but we have covered defense very thoroughly and we are completing it till March. So apart from that, I don't think anything will come. All the exercises, all the initiative, ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, naval ships, already everything I have covered, right? So we'll see you in the next month, in the March month defense in the coming videos, right? See you in the next class. Bye bye for now.